What if you could face every difficult moment in life, not with fear or frustration, but with calm, clarity, and purpose? Have you ever wondered why some people remain unshaken during chaos, while others fall apart at the slightest challenge? What if the greatest power you have is not in changing your circumstances, but in changing your response to them? The power of response begins with a pause. Imagine this. The world around you is in motion. The noise is constant. The distractions are endless, and pressure seems to close in from every direction. In the middle of that chaos, there's you, your breath, your heart, your mind. And right there, in the stillness within you, lies a power that is often underestimated, the power to choose how you respond. That's not just poetic sentiment, it's the foundational truth of Stoicism, one of the most enduring philosophies in human history. Born in the Stoas and marble halls of ancient Greece and Rome, this philosophy wasn't just a system of thought, it was a way of living. And in 2025, with stress levels rising, attention spans shrinking, and emotional reactivity at an all-time high, Stoicism might just be the most modern tool you've never fully explored. Let's take a closer look. Every single day, you're bombarded with moments that test your patience, your discipline, your values. A rude comment, a rejected idea, a missed opportunity. In those moments, it's easy to feel hijacked by emotion, to react instinctively, defensively, and often regrettably. But here's the key insight. You don't have to. The Stoics believed that between stimulus and response lies a sacred space, a moment in which we are free to choose wisdom over impulse, reflection over reaction, purpose over pride. And in that choice, they believed, lies our power and our growth. Think of a time when you reacted without thinking. Maybe you said something you regretted in the heat of the moment. Maybe you let fear or frustration steer your actions. We all have those moments. But now think of a time when you paused, took a breath, and responded with calm intention. What did that feel like? That contrast, that difference, is the entire foundation of today's practice. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his private journal, Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In that single sentence lies a profound shift. Stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start mastering the one thing that is truly yours, your inner world. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you can choose not to shout. When a colleague criticizes your work, you can choose not to defend with anger. When life throws you a curveball, you can choose not to spiral into despair. These choices aren't easy, but they're powerful. They shape the person you become. Here's a practical way to begin. The pause. It sounds simple, but it's transformative. Next time you feel triggered, angry, afraid, annoyed, don't speak, don't act, not yet. Pause, take a breath, count to 5. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want here? Will this reaction reflect who I truly am? This pause doesn't mean inaction. It means intentional action. Let's apply this to everyday life. Picture yourself in a tense meeting. Someone disagrees with your proposal, sharply, maybe even rudely. Your gut might clench. You feel attacked. But instead of reacting, you pause. You take a breath. Then you respond. Calmly, clearly, without ego. That small moment changes everything. You hold your dignity. You build trust. You become a leader, not just in the room, but in your own life. Another tool is self-observation. When you observe your thoughts and emotions like clouds passing in the sky, not judging them, not fighting them, you create space. You begin to realize, I am not this anger, I am not this fear. These are experiences, not definitions. This shift allows you to navigate your emotional landscape with grace. You can feel something intensely, but still choose how to express it. That's what Stoicism teaches. Not to numb yourself, but to master yourself. Here's where mindfulness comes in. It's not just a buzzword. It's a core Stoic practice. To be mindful is to be fully present, not lost in regret about the past, not anxious about the future, but right here, right now. This moment is your arena of control. Try this exercise. Sit for 2 minutes each morning. Close your eyes, focus on your breath. When your thoughts wander, gently return. This simple act trains your attention. It sharpens your ability to catch the moment of reaction before it overtakes you. It plants the seed of pause deeper into your daily life. Stoicism also reminds us to prepare for life's challenges. The practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, means imagining in advance what might go wrong. Not to create anxiety, but to build resilience. If you expect interruptions, disappointments, criticism, you won't be shocked when they arrive. You'll meet them with readiness, not resistance. Let's say you're expecting a peaceful day, but suddenly everything goes wrong. If you've trained your mind to expect obstacles, you'll remain anchored. You'll say, as the Stoics did, this too is part of the path. This mindset shift builds unshakable calm. It doesn't mean you won't feel stress or sadness. It means you'll move through them with strength, not surrender. And this brings us to the heart of the practice. You are not your reaction. You are not defined by a moment of emotion. You are defined by your repeated choice to pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom. We'll go deeper. You'll learn specific Stoic and psychological techniques to reframe negative experiences, build emotional intelligence, and create daily rituals that hardwire resilience into your life. But for now, take this with you. Every moment of reactivity is an invitation to become the calm in the storm, the eye in the hurricane, the strength in the chaos. Because you're not just reacting, you're practicing, you're becoming, you're living Stoicism. This is where awareness evolves into discipline and where the seeds of Stoicism are watered with daily practice. The first and most fundamental tool in this journey is self-awareness. Without it, we drift through life reacting to situations without truly understanding our patterns. With it, however, we gain the insight and clarity to shape our behavior intentionally. The Stoics understood this deeply. Figures like Marcus Aurelius practiced daily self-examination, reflecting on their behavior not to indulge in guilt, but to grow. Each night, Aurelius would ask himself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What can I improve tomorrow? This process, known today as evening reflection, is a powerful ritual. Instead of ending your day in distraction or numbing routines, what if you closed it with thoughtful observation? What if, in that quiet moment, you asked, did I act with integrity today? Did I react or respond? What lessons did I uncover? Over time, this habit reveals something profound. The subtle triggers behind your emotions, the stories you tell yourself, and the strengths you didn't realize you had. You become not only aware of your reactions, but capable of transforming them. This philosophy resonates strongly with modern psychology, particularly with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT emphasizes that our thoughts influence our emotions, which then drive our behaviors. If we intervene at the level of thought, if we become aware of the narrative running through our minds, we can redirect the entire emotional cascade. This is where Stoic thought and modern science beautifully converge. As Seneca once wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The imagined criticism, the projected failure, the fear of what might happen, these mental fictions do more harm than the actual event. Here's where reframing comes into play. Reframing is the conscious choice to see a situation differently, to rewrite the story we attach to events. A failure can become a lesson. A conflict can become a path to deeper understanding. A loss can become a pivot towards something greater. This isn't denial, it's disciplined optimism. It's choosing the most empowering lens through which to interpret life. Try this. Recall a recent moment that left you feeling upset or discouraged. Ask yourself 3 questions. What does this moment reveal about what I truly care about? What inner strengths did it call upon? And what wisdom can I carry forward from it? This exercise transforms emotional weight into fuel for growth. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." This idea echoes the Stoic belief that while we cannot always choose our circumstances, we can always choose our mindset. But how can we make that space between trigger and action more accessible in daily life? One method is through bodily awareness. Emotions live not only in the mind, but also in the body. Anxiety might tighten your chest, anger might clench your jaw, and stress might weigh heavily on your shoulders. The Stoics taught that recognizing these physical signals could give us an edge. When you feel triggered, pause and ask, where is this emotion showing up in my body? Can I breathe into it? Acknowledging the body's signals gives you the pause you need to make wiser choices. Another foundational practice is journaling, not just once a week, but as a regular habit. When your thoughts are swirling, putting them on paper brings clarity. It's like cleaning up a cluttered desk in your mind. Journaling is where confusion meets clarity, where raw emotion meets rational reflection. Use prompts like, what story am I telling myself about this event? What's truly within my control? What response would reflect the person I want to be? We must also embed these ideas into our routine through rituals. Stoicism is not just for moments of crisis, it's a daily mental workout. The Stoics prepared for life's challenges, much like an athlete prepares for competition, with consistent, deliberate practice. Their day began with visualization, imagining the challenges to come, and ended with reflection. Try adopting a simple Stoic ritual of your own. Read a short quote in the morning and set an intention. Before key interactions, pause to center yourself. At the end of the day, review your emotional responses, learn from them, and plan your next step. These practices aren't lengthy, but they are powerful. Over time, they reshape how you see yourself and how you move through the world. They shift your identity from someone who reacts to someone who responds with courage and clarity. Lastly, we come to the core of Stoic philosophy: control. The Stoics taught that there are 2 types of things, those we can control and those we cannot. We cannot control the weather, the economy, what others say or do, but we can control our own thoughts, our actions, our principles, and therein lies our peace. Many of our frustrations stem from trying to control the uncontrollable. We want others to understand us perfectly, for plans to unfold seamlessly, for life to obey our expectations. But when we learn to accept what's outside our influence and focus entirely on our own reasoned choices, we find a clarity and calm that no circumstance can steal. This sounds simple, but it's the work of a lifetime. It requires humility, it requires patience, and above all, it requires practice. But with every moment that you pause, with every reflection you write, with every act of grace in the face of stress, you're building it. A mind that is stronger than its environment, a soul rooted in purpose. Understanding Stoicism conceptually is one thing. Living it in the raw, unpredictable moments of real life is something else entirely. This is where theory meets practice, where philosophy steps off the page and into the boardroom, the kitchen, the family dinner, or the difficult conversation. The Stoic knows that the greatest testing ground for character is not in isolation, but in interaction, with others, with events, and with themselves. Let's begin with relationships. They are fertile ground for both joy and turmoil. In love, friendship, and family, our expectations run high. We want to be understood, appreciated, and supported. But often those expectations clash with the reality of imperfect humans. When someone disappoints us, maybe by saying something hurtful, failing to show up, or reacting out of their own stress, our knee-jerk reaction might be to retaliate or withdraw. But Stoicism teaches us to pause and ask, what truly matters here? My pride or the health of this relationship? A Stoic response doesn't mean allowing bad behavior to continue unchecked. It means responding with intention. You can address an issue with clarity and compassion rather than aggression. Instead of assuming bad intent, you ask, what might they be going through? This shift from reaction to reflection allows you to preserve your own peace and potentially strengthen the relationship. Now consider your professional life. Workplaces are often pressure cookers of deadlines, egos, and miscommunication. Imagine you spend hours preparing a presentation only for your ideas to be dismissed in a meeting. It stings. The reactive mind wants to lash out to prove itself. But what does the responsive mind do? It breathes, it listens, it asks, is there a kernel of truth in the criticism? Is there an opportunity here to refine and improve? This doesn't mean accepting injustice or being passive. It means choosing your moment and your method wisely. A well-timed, respectful conversation can do far more than a heated rebuttal. When you lead with calm, others take notice. You become a steady presence in the storm, a person people trust. Let's talk about conflict, the crucible of emotional intensity. Whether it's an argument with a loved one, a clash with a coworker, or a disagreement online, conflict triggers our defenses. We want to be right. We want to win. But the Stoic asks, at what cost? Winning the argument but damaging the relationship? Was that a victory? Reacting in anger only to feel shame later? Was that strength? Stoicism teaches us that sometimes silence is more powerful than speech. Sometimes stepping back is more courageous than charging forward. In a heated exchange, try this. Pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will this matter a year from now? If the answer is no, choose dignity. If the answer is yes, choose diplomacy. Another area ripe for Stoic application is the realm of setbacks and failure. You didn't get the promotion. You lost a client. You launched something that flopped. In these moments, your inner critic speaks loudest. You're not good enough. You should have done more. But here's the truth. Failure is data. It's part of the process. The Stoics didn't fear failure. They prepared for it. And when it came, they examined it. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? What part was in my control? What will I do differently next time? This transforms failure from a stopping point to a stepping stone. It keeps you moving forward with resilience and integrity. Let's not forget the daily irritations, the minor frustrations that, unchecked, erode our well-being. Traffic jams, long lines, delayed emails. These seem trivial, but they offer daily opportunities to practice equanimity. The Stoic reminds us, if you can't change the situation, change your attitude. The modern world, with its endless pings, scrolls, and notifications, offers countless triggers, but you can reclaim your focus. You can decide to respond to a message after a deep breath. You can choose not to check your phone during dinner. You can decide not to carry online tension into real-life peace. Ultimately, applying Stoicism to real life is about becoming less reactive and more reflective. It's about recognizing that every situation, no matter how frustrating or painful, offers a lesson, a choice, a chance to grow. And each time you choose response over reaction, you build your character. As we come to the final stretch of our journey, the question is no longer what is Stoicism, but how do I embody it every day? The beauty of Stoicism lies not in its complexity, but in its consistency. The real work begins after the insight, when you choose to live its wisdom in the messy, unpredictable, beautiful reality of your life. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion or being unaffected by the world. Rather, it's about choosing how to engage with emotion and about refusing to let the world dictate your internal state. It's not the absence of feeling, it's the presence of mind. So how do we integrate all of this into daily life? Start with small commitments. Choose one ritual. Maybe it's beginning each day with a quote from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. Maybe it's ending the evening with a 5-minute reflection in a journal. Maybe it's simply pausing to ask yourself throughout the day, is this within my control? These small practices, repeated consistently, rewire your nervous system. They create space between stimulus and response. They re-anchor your sense of power back within, where it belongs. Stoicism also teaches us to practice gratitude, not for the things we like, but even for the challenges. Every difficulty is a training opportunity. Every hardship is a mental gym. When someone criticizes you unfairly, you build patience. When your plans fall apart, you build resilience. When you're treated rudely, you build dignity. Life becomes the classroom and your soul the student. And then there is the art of letting go. This is one of the hardest, yet most freeing aspects of Stoicism. Letting go of what you cannot control. Letting go of needing things to go your way. Letting go of how others perceive you. The Stoic doesn't disengage from life, but detaches from illusion. They accept life fully, but not passively. They act with intention, knowing that the outcome is never fully theirs to hold. This creates a profound kind of freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to be who you are, consistently, courageously, calmly, no matter what life throws at you. Imagine what your life would feel like if you lived this way. You wake up not dreading the day ahead, but welcoming whatever may come as part of your training. You interact with others not needing to control them, but understanding them. You face disappointment not as a failure of life, but as a redirection. This is the Stoic life, not perfect, but present. Not emotionless, but emotionally sovereign. Not detached from humanity, but deeply engaged with boundaries, intention, and grace. Let's conclude with one last reminder. You are not your reaction. You are not your worst moment. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to it. In that response lives your character. In that response lives your freedom. So take what you've learned here and begin. Begin small. Begin today. When life tests you, and it will, let your response be a quiet declaration of who you are becoming. Thank you for joining this journey into the heart of Stoic wisdom. If this message resonated with you, let it become more than a fleeting thought. Make it a turning point. Subscribe to Stoic Journal and continue walking this path with us. Together, we'll explore not just how to think like a Stoic, but how to live like one. Until next time, remember, every moment is a choice. Every choice is a practice, and your response is your greatest power. Use it well.